Action!
Hey!
Hi.
Hey. So I'm Sonja Shradha Devi and I'm here with Adam Wilder.
Hi, I'm Adam Wilder.
Oh, we're speaking about transparency and shame-free relating. So I met up with Adam a while ago and he was telling me about what's going on in his world of relationship, and I remember you saying something like, gosh, it's just such a relief just to not hide myself and just fully express all the things that I would normally hide.
Yeah, it was amazing. So two things were happening. One is that my kind of things that I felt shameful about in previous relationships, I got to a point in myself where I didn't feel ashamed of them anymore. I just felt like they're just like normal things. So I felt them without shame. And secondly, I did a practice with my partner where we do these more or less daily inquiries with each other, where we'd sit and we'd talk about exactly what's going on, and not in a way that things needed to be resolved, but just in a way that they could be expressed, and so they were in the field between us. So they were out there and not hidden inside.
Okay, so you would take time devoted to taking turns to express what's in your experience, like what you're feeling, what's in your body, what's been going on in your world.
Exactly, and within this very specific container. So it's working really well when it's within this container, and it's not like you're responding to the other person.
But so you would take turns.
Yeah, and so we would even have a timer. You know, so like, okay, 5 minutes each or 10 minutes each. One person speaks, the bell goes, you switch over, the other person speaks. After that, if you want to do a bit of back and forth, you can. But it works well when it's just you're giving each other so much respect. So whatever they're saying, even if it might be something you're finding painful, it's triggering something in you, you're still respecting that other person.
Yeah.
That they're not there trying to attack you, they're just expressing what's going on for them.
Yeah, and I find it's really helpful to have a curiosity of like, this is what's going on for you. And then, that respect and gratitude for, wow, thank you for letting me know that. Because even if that might be something about me that triggers something in me, I really want to know about that because that's in the field. So isn't it great that we all put it out on the table?
Totally.
Yeah, and give it space for it to be there.
Yeah, totally. And the curiosity for the other person and for the self as well. And when you're doing the inquiry, that's also really good. So instead of, I'm feeling like I don't want to spend time with you right now, and you can feel ashamed, it can feel difficult to say that. But you can just be curious about it. You're a little bit detached from it. So I'm just curious. I have this feeling coming up and I'm curious, where's it from? Because, relationships are just the perfect way to go deeper into our experience of ourselves.
Absolutely. And to go into it with that, like having that adventure, that intentional adventure of like, I'm going to support you to explore what's going on in you and what's been triggered in you from this and vice versa. And that is a whole different way of relating, and that it is so it's so amazing.
Such a relief, yeah.
And what advice would you give to someone, particularly guys, I'd say, because maybe it's a little bit more difficult for them, who would like to begin to share more vulnerably, but don't quite know how to transition into doing that?
Well, I can talk from my experience, and for years I carried so much shame around what I was feeling, mainly because of this kind of gender rolling. I thought men have to be impervious to all things. We must always know what to do. We must always be strong. We must always be brilliant, like all the time.
That's lots of pressure.
And whenever I wasn't feeling any of those things, I would kind of like clam up. And so I'd say, men, like, find the courage to say what you're feeling. And to be able to do it without shame, to just accept that part of yourself. And it might be tricky at first to say something without feeling shame, but my experience is when you speak that, your partner will open up to you even more and love you even more. So that's the first thing. Secondly, I would recommend a good way to do that is this practice of doing inquiry with your partner. So set an amount of time, take a moment to tune in, feel what's going on in your body. speak what is going on in you. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling it here in my stomach. As I'm saying that, I'm reminded of this. Be curious about it. It's a way to open up. Well, thirdly, there's this great practice called special time. But this is just a great relationship thing generally. It actually comes from this hand-in-hand parenting method. But funnily enough, right? Funnily enough, a lot of these things which are great for parenting with kids are really great for relationships as well.
I bet.
So special time is, again, you set an amount of time with your partner. Maybe it's 10 minutes or 20 minutes. And for that amount, or maybe it's a whole day. For that amount of time, you do whatever they want to do, and you look at them delightedly the entire time. And it might be like, I want you just to hold me, or I want you to rub my feet, or it could be like the first time I did it, I was like, I want to play forts, and we played forts, and we like rolled around on the floor, and we went on secret agent missions, and that was really good. And that was actually a great way into the vulnerability.
Oh yeah.
Because I had this story like, oh, I'm an adult and I shouldn't want to play like a child, but actually I did, and just admitting that and doing that with my partner was amazing.
Ah, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all that. I'm sure it was really useful. So Adam and I both teach intimacy workshops, and I found intimacy workshops to be an amazing way to explore and deepen this kind of exploration of a different way of relating. So Adam, would you like to share a little bit about your offerings?
Sure. I run a festival and workshops mainly in the UK called Togetherness. You can have a look at them at togetherness.london.com. It's all different ways of learning more about relating and human relationships.
Awesome. And say the URL one more time.
togetherness.london.com.
Boom. And I'm Sonja Shradha Devi, and you can find out all about me and my offerings, my events, my online programs, and my Skype sessions on sonjashradhadevi.com. We're sending you so much love. Mwah!
Thank you. Bye.